Call to order the Ascension Parish Council meeting for Thursday, November 15th. If everyone would please stand for the prayer and the pledge given by Mr. Malcolm Dugas.
Thank you, Chairman. God, we'd like to thank you for bringing this governmental body together tonight. Our great leadership in our parish has proven to be very successful. We thank you for our democratic system. We thank you for the elections that we just had, and although some people's candidates win and some people's candidates lose, it's still the best system of government we have. After our meeting tonight, we pray that everyone will be home, taken home safely, and with your help and our community leadership, our parish will continue to grow and prosper. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Malcolm. Roll call, Madam Secretary. All members present with the exception of Councilman Johnson and Councilman Longsaw. Chair's additions, I do have one that we will need to have a unanimous vote on from Councilman Joseph regarding a resolution for ACUD. Councilman Joseph, will you give us a brief overview?
Yes, this resolution is some housekeeping. And the ACUD was created in 2000, and what happened, they had an intergovernmental agreement between ACUD and the government to borrow some money, and it was $90,000. And for the last years, we have been, ACUD1 have been paying their debt to the parish, but to go to the bond council that that the ACUD1 went for $500,000, the bond council requested some housekeeping be done, and so the resolution was never done in the past, so we're asking for it to be done today.
Okay, I'll need a motion to add that. Motion by Councilman Kluwat, second by Councilwoman Cazzo. It needs to be unanimous. Are there any objections to adding this? Hearing none.
Thank you, Mr.
That
Chairman.
motion passes. We will add that as item 11A. I have no further additions. Public comment period. Sign a reminder if you wish to speak. Now is your time to please come in and come up and fill out a comment card, and you'll have 3 minutes. Number 5 is the parish president's report. Mr. President.
Each year, over 30 high school bands from across Louisiana come to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette's Cajun Field to compete in the Louisiana Showcase of Marching Bands. This showcase provides a great opportunity for all the bands to perform for large crowds and earn recognition and awards. This event is the culmination of a year's worth of hard work by these student musicians. The 2012 competition was held earlier this month, and Ascension Parish bands were very successful in this state competition. We'd like to bring up the band directors and their organization members from East Ascension High, Ms. Patty Roussel, Director. Patty. Miss Dutchtown High School, Miss Sheila Bell. Sanamo High School with Assistant Director, Mr. Joey Nasser. Craig Miet, the director, was not able to come tonight. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Bell to maybe give us an explanation and possibly how every band fared. And since Dutchtown, I kind of hear some rumors, so I'm going to let you do this honor.
I'm just the oldest one, which is good. East Ascension placed second In the state, Santa Monica placed 6th, and Dutchtown placed 16th. They had all 3 bands made superior ratings. First in class in sweepstakes, and that's it. Dutchtown High had the outstanding drum major of our classification. We got first in our class. We had superior rating in all of the classifications. Santa Monica had superior rating in all of their classifications. And did y'all place any in any other? Any other? So I don't know if you people realize the wonderful bands that we have in the parish of Ascension. We can go anywhere in the state and people know about us. And I guess because I have such a big mouth, but actually these 2 people on my left and right and all of these young people are the reason why we succeed, because they're wonderful students, they have great parents and great community support. And thank you for recognizing us.
Thank you very much. We were just very excited about that performance that we had Saturday. Kids work very, very hard. We all work hard, and you put out a lot of time and get out there in the heat all from July until November and work very hard. And it's just really nice that when you get to the end of the season and you just have a great performance at the end of the year and you get recognized for it. So I'm very pleased with my students, very pleased with Mr. Drescher here, my assistant director, and I'm very happy for the other 2 bands in the parish too.
Mr. Nasser?
Thank all of you for this honor. Sheely is right. Whenever we go across the state and people ask where the best band programs in Louisiana are, I think it's very well known that the best bands in Louisiana are in Ascension Parish. And I'm just proud to be a part of this tradition. It's been started many years ago, even before any of us were teaching, even before Sheely was teaching. These traditions started, and we've been very blessed and very fortunate to have the support of a great school board, a great parish council, city council. Everyone has always been on our side, and that is the reason we have this. We have great community, great parents, and we are just so proud and blessed to be a part of this. And I want to thank everybody for supporting us, and we just ask for your continued support.
Thank you. And along with the bands, we also have the choirs that participate with us on Veterans Day, and I want to certainly thank those who participated in that event. It was a wonderful event, as it always is, and went to the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. There's a joint choir that also sang there yesterday morning. So again, y'all do a lot. You work hard. Football players and basketball and all that get a lot of recognition, but this is a night to honor you guys, and we appreciate you and what you do for our community and giving of yourselves. So all the guys who graduated from EA, Santa Monica, and Dutchtown, if you want to come on down, I know Oliver is Downsonville, but you can come over here and represent whatever band you'd like. So we'll The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the certificate of achievement to the Dutchtown High School Marching Band for placing second in Class 4A, 2012 Louisiana Showcase of Marching Band. The band received a superior rating, placed 16th overall statewide. Our 2 drum majors won their classification. The auxiliary section received a superior rating, and the percussion section placed second and also received a superior rating. Each year, high school bands from across Louisiana come to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette's Cajun Field to compete. We join Council Chairman Chris Law and the entire Parish Council in congratulating the Dutchtown High School Band for their success during this prestigious event.
Tommy, can we get each picture first? Y'all need to come in. Oh, that's Sam? Oh, okay. 2 pictures on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2,
Ascension. Patty Russo, Director. Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of achievement for East Ascension High School marching band, placing second overall statewide to become reserve grand champion of the 2012 Louisiana Showcase of Marching Bands. Each year, there's 30 high school bands from across Louisiana come to the University of Louisiana Lafayette Cajun Field to compete. We don't have council chair, look forward to Parish Council to congratulate East Ascension High School Band for their success.
Shorter ones to the front, please. Take 2 shots. On 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Good job, guys.
That's not on here. Come on up here. Come on up here, James. Certificate of achievement. Certificate is hereby awarded to the San Juan High School Band, training the director. Parish of Ascension, proud to present this certificate. San Juan High School marching band, placing 6th overall statewide in the 2012 Louisiana Showcase of Marching Band. San Juan High School Band is city rating for band, auxiliary, percussion, drum major, with individual marching. Each year, over 30 high school bands from across Louisiana, University of Louisiana, Lafayette, Council Chair, Chris Law, and entire Parish Council, congratulations.
Two pictures, thank you.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thank you.
They're taking care of all that.
Next, I'm going to ask Ms. Evelyn Cook Santa Mona to please come up with her family, and
Oh, yeah?
we want to honor Miss Santa Mona. She will be, in 10 days, 100 years old. Let me get here. Proclamation to proclaim November 25th, 2012 as Evelyn Cook Santamon Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Miss Evelyn Cook Santamon was born on November 25th, 1912 in Norwood. I think we have Jackson here, but it's Norwood. And whereas Miss Evelyn was raised in the Ascension Parish community of Oak Grove, and whereas having caught the eye and later capturing the heart of a successful Ascension Parish car salesman, Evelyn and Selassie Santamon became man and wife. Whereas Miss Evelyn enjoyed a fruitful career with Sears Roebuck and Company, also as a cook with the Ascension Parish school system, and as a small business owner where she was a beautician. And whereas known as a cherished community member of the Galvez area called the Y, Miss Evelyn's reputation for producing award-winning culinary delights like her chicken and dumplings is legendary. Whereas her genuine love of people only proceeded by her genuine love of God, Jesus, and her church, or why Miss Evelyn always remained warmly in the hearts of all she has touched. And whereas Miss Evelyn's pets, each with their own unique name, adore her lovingly personally, especially her dog, Dolly Parton. And so, now therefore it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim Sunday, November 25th, 2012, as Evelyn Cook Sanamore Day in Ascension Parish, and make her honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord her all the respect and honor due to an honorary hold of this high office. You want to say a few words to this audience? Okay. Well, congratulations and happy birthday. Maybe we can get, I'll get the key. Maybe we can get Councilman Law to lead us in happy birthday a few days early.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that's going to happen.
You can do it. Randy will do it. And here's the key to the parish.
Yeah, look at that.
Here's the parish key. All right, Randy, lead us off.
All right, James.
Sing.
We saying happy birthday?
Yes.
We still got any choir in the house?
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Evelyn. Happy birthday to you. We'd also like to thank your family that thinks very much of you. That you are a very special person. Apparently you touched a lot of lives. Keep on trying. Councilman Lord, come up here with this is your right here.
Well, congratulations. That's an incredible milestone. I'm sure your family is very glad that you have touched them in many long years. And it's just an honor to get to meet you personally. And congratulations. Thank you.
Councilman Lamb,
Appreciate it.
born and raised Galveston boy, right?
Been her guest man for many, many years. Yes, indeed. We put up a few curtains together and talked about your beauty shop, and I tell you what, this is really a beautiful woman, and has made many women beautiful hair for me, I'm sure. We love you, and we'll definitely see you Saturday, this Saturday the 25th. Sunday the 25th at Galvez Lake Fire Park. All right. Thank you.
Come on around.
See there? You got the key to the city. You got the key to the city.
I got the key to the city. There you go. Key to the city. I got the key to the city.
For the past 3 years, the Ascension Parish Republican Women has had a poster contest at our Veterans Day service, and every year they judge it. So I'm going to ask Ms. LaCour to come up and name the winners. We thank y'all for doing that every year. That's, it's a great thing, and the kids look forward to it.
We're very pleased to sponsor this contest in our middle schools and high schools, and for cash prizes too. And so the lucky winners of our poster contest this year are Miss Brittany Collins from Lowry Middle, Brittany, would you come forward, please? And second place winner is Miss Reagan Lee from Prairieville Middle. Is Reagan here? Oh, yes, she is. I was looking all over for you. And would you hold your poster, sweetheart? Okay. And on behalf, I have to juggle all these things. Okay. On behalf of, on behalf of Ascension Republican Women, we would like to present you with this cash prize of $100 for participating in our poster contest, Veterans Day poster contest, and each artist was asked to do a poster representing what they felt about Veterans Day. And so Brittany has done this poster, and on behalf of Ascension Republican Women, I would like to present Reagan Lee from Prairieville Middle this award of $75 for her poster and this certificate. Okay, or did you want to? I'm stealing your thunder. I'm stealing the parish president's thunder. And we thank you very much for entering our contest and taking part in this and giving what Veterans Day means to you. So thank you so much.
Before you let them go, would I have y'all pose by looking at the camera for a minute? Open your eyes and smile. Thank you very much.
They got a daddy.
We want to thank you, girls. Thank y'all for a job well done. And every year, the posters get better and better. And Joyce, thank you again for your organization's sponsorship of this event. Thank you. And I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday season in the upcoming week. So take this opportunity while I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to item number 6. The chair would entertain a motion to move the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Turner. Any objection? Consent agenda is adopted. Item number 7 is the condemnation proceedings for the property located at 1306 KC Road in Gonzales. Our chief building official, Mr. Laverne Bourgeois.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members, and Mr. President. Tonight I'm here again to ask for guidance in a dangerous building ordinance that the parish has presently adopted. This is included to project at 1306 KC Road, which in your package you should have a timeline as of July through September, October. In today's meeting here tonight, all the details have been disclosed in that packet. And tonight we're here again to get guidance from you and to move this process further. If it's the wish of the council chairman, perhaps there may be somebody in the audience to represent this project.
Sure. Is anybody here wish to speak regarding this project? That would like to? Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Laverne, did you get any response from them as far as repair? I know they got notified several times.
Yes, sir. We visited the gentleman on a couple of occasions. He attests to the fact that the building is not to the condition of having a public danger. And we wanted a letter of intent, what he may do with it, if he intends to repair, replace, or demolition the building. We had no response from an intention of a letter that is required in our letter from him, and therefore it came to impasse, and that's why we're here tonight.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we move forward. Look like, looking at the, everything's 100% deteriorated from what I'm looking at.
Yes,
So it's definitely not repairable without tearing it completely down. So.
Okay, I have a motion to condemn by Councilman Todd Lambert and a second by Councilman Satterley. Any discussion?
Wait, I got somebody maybe who want to speak on it now.
Okay. Yes, sir. Did you want to come speak on this is your property? If you speak in the microphone, if you would.
When you gave the street address a few minutes ago, you say 1306.
Yes, that's what we have on in our packet. Yes, sir.
If this is pertaining to
It's
me.
63. I'm sorry, 13063. It's a typo on the piece of paper I'm looking at. It is 13063. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm the individual.
Okay. This is your chance, sir, to say whatever you wish concerning this condemnation proceeding.
Well, the basic points that I want to indicate and substantiate is the fact that I have a handicap, so I can't physically presume the duties that you indicated. I am financially unable to carry out these duties also. So the culmination of my attributes to pursuing this is very limited.
Okay. Is there any discussion from the council? Councilman Joseph.
Yes. Under the circumstances that Mr. Thompson is, I know in the past, we had, if someone comes speak up, we would have extended up to 60 days. But, Mr. Thompson, I want you to understand that we realize your situation, but if this go through, we tear it down, we go through this process, it go out for public bid, and a contractor can tear it down based on our policy. If I'm wrong, Mr. Laverne, please inform me. And if that contract come in at $2,500, normally it ranges between $1,500 to $3,000. It would go on your lien of your property. Now, the service will be done, but I mean, and I just want you to make aware of that. And in that case, I'm gonna make a motion to extend the 60 days and asking anybody in the public if they can volunteer any service to help you remove it, But after 60 days, if it's not removed, the parish would proceed to tear it down.
Okay, I have a substitute.
Second that.
A substitute motion from Councilman Joseph to give another 60-day
I'll second.
window, and I think I had a second already from Councilman Schechtsteiner. And a discussion, Councilman Kluwat.
Mr. Thompson, sir, on this building, it's basically 100% gone. You didn't have any intention of, you just need to get it cleared off, right?
Well, basically you're correct, but a lot of my valuables are housed in that particular building.
Okay.
The reason why the building became in this condition was due to the storm we had. Prior to that, the building was a pretty much sturdy, standing building. The floors were saturated, and once that happened, with the items that were stored in there. They retain the water, which was a constant, and that's in a portion of it. That's not the whole building. But the water was retained, and therefore, I guess you might say, accelerate the process of deterioration.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, I have a substitute motion on the floor with a second. Any objection to the substitute motion? Hearing none, substitute motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me. Could I get a narrative of the decision that was struck?
Yes, sir. So the decision is there's a 60-day, we've granted a 60-day reprieve on the condemnation. So you'll have 60 days to continue to work with administration on what you can do there.
Could I get that in writing?
Yes, sir. The secretary will have minutes after the meeting.
And long-term memory is better than short-term memory.
Okay. Our secretary can get that to you after, she can follow up with you after the meeting. Okay?
This particular day before, she will be able to give a narrative of this today, or
I'm not sure.
The minutes of the meeting.
The minutes of the meeting, will you be able to have something? Okay. Yes, sir.
she will.
We'll work with you after the meeting. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
if the narrative is written, I can deliver it to Mr. Thompson.
Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Laverne.
Okay?
Thank y'all, appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
All right. Item number 8 is our health, life, and dental insurance renewal. Councilwoman Terry Cazzo.
This came up in the Finance Committee last week. And so I want to ask Harry a couple of questions or allow him to make some comments so that we can make the best decision possible for not only the citizens of the parish, but the employees of the parish. My motion would be, if that is appropriate at this time, that we accept Harry's recommendation that Coventry provide the medical coverage for parish employees going forward. But there may be some questions that are needed to be answered.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor for Coventry. Do we have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to hear Mr. Robert address the council before we would second, not having any background
Sure.
into it.
Okay. Councilwoman Cowles, you want to withdraw that motion for now?
I'll be happy
Okay.
to.
And Mr. Robert, would you give us some overview, please?
Thank you, Councilman, Council Lady. I appreciate it. When we met this past week at the finance meeting, I handed y'all, some information which contained the quotes and the monthly premiums on each individual classification. It was comprised of quotes from the existing PPO with Humana, the existing HSA and high deductible plan with Humana, the renew quotes which Humana gave us for each one of those plans, and also one of the competitive quotes which we accepted and thought probably should be considered seriously was the quotes from Coventry Insurance. The quotes from Coventry were consisted of a single plan which matched the Humana plan, and also as an option they gave us a plan which is called a dual option, where they allowed us to choose a plan that was exactly like Humana's, and also a hybrid plan which called the CareLink, which was consisted of a narrow group of providers, but also gave us, a severe rate reduction, for that. The difference as far as the employees, whenever we had our meeting, was concerned between the two plans, was they really had more objection to losing the PPO plan with the $500 deductible and actually was concerned with that loss more than they were with the difference between the Humana renewal offering and the Coventry renewal offering. Okay. The second handout, which you have in front of you now, which was given in today's information, depicts all the premiums and the figures looking at it from the employee standpoint. You know, I took the deductible which is applicable to the particular plan that they were looking at, the maximum out-of-pocket that that employee would incur should a serious illness or any type of illness occur, and the premium that was involved on an annual basis as to what the employee would have to pay out of their pocket. And if you look at the first column, which of course is just only for reference, it's not available because we decided a while back that we would eliminate the PPO if for some reason their rates became unsubstantial and we couldn't justify exactly what the renewal premiums were. So I put that first column in there for reference so that people could really understand why we weren't offering PPO as an option. If you look at the total cost incurred, you know, with the $500 deductible, the maximum out-of-pocket, the premium paid on an annual basis for an employee with the Humana PPO plan, it would have been $4,800 a year. You take and compare that with the Humana high deductible HSA plan, the $1,500 deductible with the premium that is the employee is responsible for it, $1,959, and the HSA contribution, which the parish is allowing, that comes up to the credit. The total out-of-pocket on an annual basis for that employee would be $2,200. So comparing the HSA and the high deductible with Humana this year with the offer compared to what was available, you know, with the PPO, had we accepted the PPO, we thought probably expressing it this way that the PPO on its own merit would probably be disqualified because of the prohibited premium. Okay, so we showed the premium involved for each classification: an employee only, employee and spouse, employee and children, and a family. And if you go down that first column and you see the premium involved for an employee, if they had a family, if you consider the $1,000 deductible, the maximum out-of-pocket, and their premium that they would have to pay on an annual basis, it would be $11,843 is what that particular employee would be responsible for if they had a family that they had to take care of and purchase insurance for the family. Comparing to that, if you looked at the high deductible HSA, the maximum out-of-pocket underneath the family with the Humana would be $7,500. So just on the merits of the premium savings alone, I think probably the PPO was recognized as not being one of the options that would be desirable. So actually the comparative came between what Coventry offered and what Humana offered. Okay, the third column is Humana's renewal offered, and the fourth and fifth column are the dual option that is offered by Coventry. There's not a big price differential between what Humana offered and what Coventry offered on the exact same matching plans. You know, there's roughly about $142,000 a year difference between those plans head up. The plans are matching. The only difference in them is that one company may have a provider list that's a little bit different than the other provider list. But both of them are magnum providers, which means that they're extra large, and that should occur very seldom whenever somebody looks up at what doctors they probably would prefer going to. The other plan which Coventry offered was called a hybrid plan, and it's called their CareLink plan. Okay. Now, because Coventry offered a dual option, okay, some people might fit better into the CareLink plan, and because of the premium that was involved, or because they don't really have that much of a selection of doctors to their liking, they would think that probably one doctor would be, you know, satisfactory as the other one. So choosing one doctor from one plan to the other one wouldn't be that big of an issue with them. So that particular plan for Coventry, you know, is considerably cheaper than the matching plan with either Coventry or Humana. But the Coventry plan offers the option to go with either the matching plan or the CareLink hybrid plan, which is the cheaper plan. And if you look at the savings, you know, the potential savings from the Coventry plan, you're looking at, even when you consider the additional contribution which we're going to recommend to the savings account, saving over $300,000 annually with the Coventry plan. Coventry also offered us a guaranteed ceiling as far as the maximum increase on the renew. Should we go with them this year, the following year, the maximum increase would be 14%. That's a considerable amount, and you know, that's probably about the same amount that Humana wanted to offer us this year. But we figured it was some type of a protection, and it kind of showed some faith in the other portion of their plan, which we think is real desirable, which is Healthy Lives or the wellness program. I think probably the thing that impressed, you know, most of the employees and the managers and the supervisors was the fact that with the Coventry plan came along the Healthy Lives or the wellness program, which when you consider the effect that it probably should have on future premiums. You know, the premium that they offer now is already, you know, the cheapest, but if you consider the effect that it should have on future premiums, well, then it really should keep the premiums somewhat in line and probably offset some of the escalated costs which we may incur without the wellness programs. Okay. I think probably whenever we show the employees, you know, just the figures and the different figures that they were responsible for, you know, they had a better understanding of the choice between the two plans, probably the effectiveness of one plan over the other plan, and how it should probably affect future rates and future premiums. You know, if we select one plan which probably could lead us in the right direction versus the other one, which gave us no type of control over it. It was just happened to be whatever the claims would be, and the prices end up being because of the claims, we'd have to accept the prices that we got on the renew quotes from the various companies. I think that was instrumental, and I think that probably a lot of people appreciated, you know, the fact that the wellness program, besides helping the group overall in the long run, would also help each individual trying to control their own medical problems if they have any, or any type of situation which may come up as far as they're concerned health-wise. I still think that probably we don't have 100% of the people that see that we should switch from Humana to Coventry, but I think objectively, the majority of the people understand why that would be a reasonable recommendation, and we're just waiting for your recommendation or desire so we can follow through.
Okay. Councilwoman Cowsley, you still have the floor.
I'll defer to Councilman.
Okay. Councilman Lambert?
I know you met with the committee, the
Right.
employee committee, and what came out of that committee for us?
Well, initially, before we really got into the price differential, in the last meeting, I expressed, I think, if they had a choice to stay, that 60% of the employees, you know, favored staying with Humana. Okay, and I think that probably after we met several times and broke down the premium differential, that probably would be, you know, a different figure now if they had the same opportunity to express. I think probably, you know, it's just a decision that sometimes is difficult for these people to make, you know, but when you look at the figures and it's kind of obvious as to what is best for them, you know, maybe even though they don't realize it's better for them, you know, they're just looking at something that probably is going to be detrimental in the short term because they're losing their PPO, they're losing that small $500 deductible with the small co-payments, you know, but that's completely off the table, you know, it's just not an option, you know, for them. The only option which they have at this point is choosing between the Humana PPO and the Coventry PPO, dual option plan, which I think probably would be the wise selection price-wise as well as coverage-wise for them.
And you said it's about 300,000 cheaper?
Well, it just depends on if you select the Coventry dual option, It really depends on how many people choose the CareLink versus the other one. You know, that savings automatically could go anywhere from $80,000 to $350,000. You see, it just depends on how many people select either or of the particular choice. You know, one of the largest attributes of the Coventry plan is the wellness program. You know, so I mean, if you combine, you know, all of the pros with the Coventry plan, you have the choice between the matching plan and the hybrid CareLink plan, okay, which has a potential savings of anywhere between 3% to 10%, you know, for the parish and for the employee, okay. You have the wellness program, which is a significant portion of their offering with that, you see. And then you have the guaranteed ceiling on the renewal premium, of that being maximized at 14%.
So in the last meeting, y'all pretty much told the committee that the first PPO, Humana, was out of the question.
Right, exactly.
They knew that.
They knew that. You know, and you know, Todd, about 5 or 6 years ago, when we switched from our previous carrier, you know, to Humana, because the pricing was so similar, you know, every time we met with them, they understood that, and you know, the White House said as long as the prices remain somewhat, you know, close, they would continue the PPO. But once they got out of line, we could drop the PPO and go with the high deductible, you know, HSA. And so that's what evolved this year. And so they all were expecting, you know, to lose the PPO. And then, of course, once they saw the difference in the premium with the PPO versus the high deductible, it became a reality, understood why it wasn't part of the options that we gave them. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Satterley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Robert, I'm a little bit confused, your response to Councilman Lambert about the vote.
Okay.
I thought I understood you in the Finance Committee to say that the committee was made of department heads, or is it made of lower-level parish employees?
Initially, we would meet periodically, and each department, you know, would send whomever they thought probably would be a good representative. Maybe somebody that wasn't a department head, but they really were into medical insurance, and they were involved in it, and they thought they'd be a good representative. So they would send that individual to the meeting.
Right,
You know?
because my concern would be if it were true, all department heads, they might be making a little more dollars than, you know, the folks that are at lower level in the parish, and they may be inclined to think differently about you choosing things over money. So I just want to get clarity on that.
That's a good
and
point.
How many
And
members were on this committee, sir, or actually voted? Better way of phrasing the question.
I think there was 24 people in that particular meeting.
So it's a
and
goodly
since
number.
then, yeah, and then since then we met with, I think it's classified as Section 2 and Section 1 employees.
Right.
You know, and then we met with 2 groups, you know, yesterday comprised of those. And one meeting, I guess we had, you know, 150 people.
Okay.
And the other meeting, I guess probably we might have had another, you know,
But
20
in that
people.
first meeting, it came out 60%. You said that was in support of staying with Humana.
Well, they preferred Humana. I
That's
mean,
what they said.
because, yeah,
Okay.
they just preferred Humana.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Sure.
As a former state employee, we were offered every year working on we just went through it again because I still have my insurance through the state, being retired from the same, an option to go into one of many different companies, insurance companies that would be offering us plans.
Right.
I assume maybe we're not big enough in Ascension Parish.
Exactly.
And they want 100% of the business, and that's why we got a either or choice here tonight.
Exactly.
There's no way we could offer the citizens, you pick one or the other.
No, we couldn't do that. You know, I'm not saying it's impossible, you know, but we hadn't been successful in the last years to try to do anything like that. We even tried at some point, to do the same thing that school board is doing and see if we get an interest like that, and that didn't work out, you know. And we have some things that's working against us. Number one is just the history of our group, which is not the most desirable, you know,
Right.
just because of the nature of it.
You didn't address it. I promised 2 questions, but I'm going to take
Go
the
ahead.
liberty of a third with the forbearance of the chairman. You mentioned that there was a situation where we were formerly with Coventry.
Right.
And people weren't happy back then, but your belief structure, and I know they testified that evening in front of the Finance Committee, that they're not that company anymore and they're going to do better.
Right.
As a councilman, how do I weigh how they were versus what they say they're going to be?
Well, I think one of the things that's encouraging is that Coventry recently merged with Aetna. Aetna is the largest, medical insurer, in the world. So that's encouraging in itself. And then there's historical information where companies are rated, and the combined companies that we have now with Aetna and Coventry, has one of the highest ratings that's available. And I think probably the other night, I don't have the figures in front of me, but the young lady, she answered some of the questions about where they fit as far as the amount of time that it took them to settle a claim, how many seconds they answered a phone call on. And they rated, in the top 2 or 3 of all of those particular categories since they've merged, with Aetna. So their performance as far as service, I think probably is outstanding at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Councilman Shakespeare?
Harry, thank you for all the research. We appreciate it. Just to get a perspective for everybody to see where we're starting from, can you give us, I see the Humana 2012, and then 2013 the PPO, which would be 11,008. What would be the total cost difference in increase from last year to this year if they went to that plan for the parish? It looks like it would be
34. It's 34% increase.
Yeah. So I mean, how, in dollar figures, do you have a
yeah, it's handy? The difference between 3,007,000 and 4,392,000. Right at $700,000.
Yeah, and so we're trying to settle something that's a $700,000 increase.
Right, exactly.
And I want to make sure the people on this council are very concerned about trying to maintain and provide sufficient health insurance for all the employees and get as good a deal as we can. However, the $700,000 increase is just impossible to do because, and so that's why these other options were given.
Right.
And the other thing, as with myself, it's very hard when you get used to dealing with a certain insurance company and forms and people that you made contacts is very, very reluctant to change. And so I believe as you poll employees, the natural desire would be to remain the same. But as you explained tonight, I think the choice of the individuals of the two Coventry options where the individual employee gets to choose which one is best for them, even though it's not as good as what we had last year.
Right.
As you've seen with $700,000 increase, it's just off the table. Also had discussions with a councilman from Livingston Parish, and they're going through the same thing, and it just got cost prohibitive, and they had to reduce tremendously their benefits. So I think we're down to not really a whole lot of choice in this. I appreciate the information you gave, and I'm satisfied that as we move forward with your suggestions.
Councilman Joseph.
Yeah. Mr. Harris, you say you had a second meeting with about 150 employees?
I would think there'd be that many this morning. There was a lot of them. It was full. Went for work upright. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the percentage of?
We didn't ask for a show of hands. We just presented our the plan. And then we had people from Coventry over there to answer any questions, and we stayed after and answered any questions. And the biggest resistance we had, Councilman, was actually moving away from the PPO, to the high deductible, And I think probably once they saw the figures, they understood why the PPO wasn't any longer an option. It had just worked itself out of being reasonable. Okay. Now, when you consider that what Humana offered as their standalone high deductible HSA, which is Humana gave us terrific service. It's a good company. We could see why people were hesitant to leave them. But when you consider the alternatives with the options that Coventry offered, which was cheaper, along with the wellness program, Well, then it became obvious which probably would be the best selection, for present time and future time.
Well, I don't know if any parish employees had any signed up to speak or anything.
I don't have any.
I mean, I got phone calls and everybody was, so I just wanted to know what was those numbers was.
Councilman Turner?
Just a quick question. Did Humana not want to send representatives as Coventry did?
No, I mean, they'd have been happy to send somebody, but we didn't think it was necessary because we've been with them for 4 or 5 years, and we knew the plans back and forward, and all the employees knew them. So you couldn't have them very well with the Coventry employees. It just, we didn't feel like it was necessary to have them here. They couldn't really add anything to the plan. The thing that they had to offer was pricing, I guess, more than anything else. We got their prices, so after that, I negotiated them down as much as I could, several percentage points, but once we got to the point to where we got the absolute, cheapest pricing, well, then that was the issue. They don't offer a proactive wellness program or anything like that.
Okay. Councilman Satterley?
That tweaks my interest further. So if the other company wasn't there, Humana, who answered questions, assuming there were some from these 150 employees, in behalf of that plan? You did that, or someone for the parish? Or?
Well, the parish representatives were there, and they were familiar with the plan. I mean, if we answered some questions, they knew most of the questions because they've been with it for 4 years. Wasn't anything new, really, that was offered.
Yeah, I guess I'd just be a little more comfortable, so I'll just go out and say it, if they'd have been there at the meeting as well.
Well,
sort of competing heads up, and that's just a feeling I have, but that's fine.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cazzo?
Yes, I want to make one more comment. One of the premier employers in Ascension Parish is St. Elizabeth Hospital. Friends of mine are employed there, and I happen to sit on their board of directors. So I'm aware that Coventry is their insurance of choice.
Right.
And so I think that that was a factor for me as well, and they are very happy with the service that they are getting from Coventry.
Okay. Councilman Joseph?
One more. Harry, in these plans here, is vision and dental coverage in these two plans?
No, we elected to stay with Humana. Now, visual is in here. Vision's a part of whoever we go with the medical insurance. Vision is part of that. But the life, the dental, and the disability, is going to stay with Humana. And Humana's fine with that. They understand that. But the price differential between the rest of the companies we got quotes with and Humana didn't warrant a switch with those particular items.
So we're going to have dual insurance?
We have dual insurance, right.
Anyway.
Right.
The chair would entertain a motion or further discussion.
One quick.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, Harry, I heard two things as far as the amount that it would increase. One was 300,000, one was 700,000. What is the difference there?
Well, when you compare it to the PPO, which is
you're
which
talking
is
about PPO
right,
comparison,
exactly,
yeah,
right.
which we don't. That's off the table.
It's off the table.
So
Exactly.
we don't even have that comparison. So 300 is what we're looking at.
Potentially,
Right.
that's
And the
about
employees
300.
would actually be paying more premium too.
I'm sorry?
The employees are actually be paying a higher premium.
If you choose the higher one, then employees naturally
Even
going to pay more
staying
premium.
with Humana, they're going to be paying a higher premium.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's about 4% more difference between the matching companies between Humana, but it's 4% more premium.
Okay.
Like that.
All right. Thank you.
And there's a potential saving depending on how many of the, if
Go
you
with the
choose
carrier,
Coventry,
yeah.
right, you go all the way
I
up to that.
understand, yeah.
I'll repeat my motion to take the parish health insurance to Coventry.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Cazzo and a second by Councilman Schexnayder. Any further discussion? Any objection?
Yes.
Councilman Joseph? Any
I'd like to,
objections?
before you close, I'd like to add something to that. The participation, is, as far as the HSA is concerned, is $100, per month per employee, okay? So I'd recommend that you continue that. Now, the savings to the parish between your CareLink and your regular match plan, is about $50 a month. I think it behooves the parish, to try to get as many people, slide over to the CareLink as possible. So I would recommend that the people that go with CareLink, that you increase their contribution $25 a month, and you'd be getting $125 a month to those people. You can be saving money if they choose them. You can be saving $50, per individual. So if you increase their their contribution $25, you can still be saving $25, but you'd be encouraging people to go to the CareLink plan, which is the best place for them to be because it's a cheaper price and they give outstanding service because of the selective group of doctors and hospitals that's in the CareLink system. So, it's gonna save you money to get them there, and then so I think that probably you can encourage them moving over there if you kind of give them a little bit more incentive to get in that direction.
Okay.
I discussed
We're gonna hold off on discussion on the roll call vote so we can just continue the discussion.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Harry, and then we'll open it back up. I see some people have some more questions.
Okay, I'll be happy.
Councilman Shakespeare.
And I think the incentives, that's the way,
Right.
You try to help the employees, let the ones that are gonna do something that's gonna be the savings.
Be the savings,
be
and
able to-
assist the whole group in the future and immediately to have some practice.
And for the people that are not informed, the parish does put up
$100
that-
per month, that's right.
that much per month that goes into that for the employee, and if you increase
That's
that,
it.
Tommy, is there any problem with doing that as a?
No, I think it's a good thing if you're gonna go with that program to give them an incentive to go with it. So
Yeah.
I think it's good, and that way the deductible becomes almost nil at that point.
Yeah, and so I think that would be a good.
If we wanted to do that, would that be something we would just authorize parish president to do?
Right.
Is that something we have to vote on along
Still
with this,
option
the rates?
You
or
don't
is
have to
this-
vote on it for me, I just wanted to
Okay.
bring it up so y'all was
We're just
aware.
deciding on the
Yeah,
on the
okay,
carrier
exactly.
with this vote.
One quick.
I'll get it.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, Harry, far as the doctors, I think you might have talked a little bit about it. Both plans, they still can use their same doctors they're using?
Well-
Because that was a question that some of the employees had with me.
And of course, they can go on the web and find out, but the provider list of Coventry is the largest that there is.
So it's more than likely
Right.
it is.
More than likely it's going to be. If not, if they're not in the CareLink program, if they're in the match program, all they have to do is give us their wishes about which doctor they would like us to include in that, and 99 out of 100 chances we can get that doctor included in the match program.
If he's not.
It'd be more difficult to get them in the CareLink program because it's more restrictive, okay, because the criteria that's necessary for them to be asked to join that group. But in the regular match program, 9 out of 10 chances we can get them included in that.
It's 346 pages long.
Just the providers.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll do a roll call vote. Ms. Secretary, would you please?
Councilwoman Kazo,
Yes.
Councilman Kluat,
Yes.
Councilman Joseph,
No.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert,
No.
Councilman Todd Lambert,
No.
Councilman Satterly,
No.
Councilman Shake Snyder,
Yes.
Councilman Turner,
No.
Leave that as a 4-4 tie.
3-5.
What is it, 3-5? I'm sorry.
3-5.
Okay, 3-5, and the motion fails. We'll do chair would entertain a motion for something else.
I make a motion that we go with the Humana plan that the employee committee recommended to go with.
I second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert to go with Humana, and a second by Councilman Joseph. Discussion. Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes. How much is that costing us? And how much is it gonna cost the employees?
Minimum is going to cost you $142,000 more a year.
How much does it cost the individual employees?
It's going to cost, I got that figure somewhere. It's going to cost them about 4% more, when they go to everything. Let me see if I can get that figure.
Minimum 4%, 4 to 10%?
Yeah. Just leave that on my desk. Well, okay, I can give you that anyway. The difference between the Humana for the employee is $683, and the if you want the CareLink or the match for Coventry. Match plan, it'll be $653 and $628 for the employee. That's the total thing, and then they're gonna pay 25% of that. Okay, so I just don't have those figures in front of me as far as the 25% of each one of them, but it's about, if I remember, $45 more it's gonna cost them.
Mhm.
You know.
And that's not,
Councilman Shakespeare, are you done? Councilman Joseph.
Yes. Councilman Lambert just said they had a committee, employee committee, health, medical board, or whatever we want to call it. You know, if we plan on doing this and not taking their recommendation, I recommend that we don't do this as far as asking the parish employees what insurance they want. If we're going to make those decisions, we just need to eliminate that board, and we make those decisions based on the recommendation we get from the insurance rep.
Well, Councilman, I guess probably, well, I disagree with eliminating the board, but, you know, actually, I didn't ask them, you know, which company they wanted to go with. I just asked them who preferred Humana at that particular point, you see? So, I mean, it wasn't really a question as to whether or not they wanted to go with that. It was just asking who preferred Humana at that particular point, and it was 65%.
The meetings that we had subsequently, it was never an option as to which you're going to go. The whole thing was informational only to let the employees know that the PPO was not an option anymore, and to also explain how each of these would work in the event that the council chose one or the other.
One or the other.
So it was never like we voting on whether we're going to go with Humana or we're going to go with, that's not a decision that the committee can make a recommendation, but they don't make a decision. The final decision comes with the council, but we wanted to make sure that the proper information was given to the employees. So that's why we had asked that we have those meetings rather than just to do. But it wasn't ever a meeting to say whether we're going with Coventry or whether we're going with Humanity. It was just to explain something new that was coming on so that the employees wouldn't be in the dark.
Okay, Councilman, I'm sorry, we finished?
Well, and I guess that's where the confusion comes in,
Yeah.
all with
Well,
this insurance issue.
Yeah, well, and then, of course, we want to give the employees a chance to, you know, to air any feelings, to voice their opinion, all that type of stuff. So we try to open it up and get everybody involved, and that's the purpose of those meetings.
I wish that you'd explain that to them, so the phone calls to me would have been
Well,
different.
Well, anytime you have change, you're going to get resistance, you understand?
Councilman Kluwat.
Yeah, thank you, Harry.
Yeah.
And Tommy, you know, we discussed this, that I guess the perception, just like
Right.
Mr. Joseph said,
Right.
I basically had a question is the fact that the insurance is going to change this year, one way or the other. And
Right.
that was informational meetings.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Not necessarily a vote.
Right. No,
On which insurance
And where to go with that.
that they will have.
Right. No,
And I guess I'm still kind of alluded to the committee, which I work for a company.
Right.
All right? And to date, I've been working almost 38 years, and I haven't been able to choose my insurance yet.
Right.
But I've been blessed, so I've worked with some people that really try to get the best
Right.
coverage for me, all right? So within that, I know I've been in places where we had people that sent department members to take a look at, you know, this is the changes we're looking at, so, you know, kind of shed the water on down, let everybody know that there's going to be a change. You know, there has to be a change based on either business decision or can't afford the other one, or the other one's not available anymore. So
Right.
change is not always good.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd like to just, carry the same insurance card for the rest of my life also.
right.
But I just want to clarify, and I'm sure this is not for you to answer, but the fact is that we have several department heads,
Right.
and that everybody sends somebody, a representative, to just take a look and listen. But the meetings that you had following that, subsequently from that, since we met with you on the finance,
Right.
is that you did talk, and I believe Ronnie was in the back, and he said you had all DPW and all the drainage.
Yeah, we did, right.
That represented a pretty gross number of our employees for the
Right.
parish.
Mhm.
Not all of them, but a large representation and cross-reference, and to explain to them that there will be a change.
Right. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So,
And Randy, that's
I know
why.
I know most of the insurances now are looking to some type
Yeah.
of thing to make
Yeah.
people a little bit more aware of their own health,
Yeah.
and giving them a little edge toward that.
Well-
And giving them compensation for it.
Yeah.
Reduce rates.
I guess one of the most valid comparisons is the information that I presented last time when I referenced the prior 10 years, and I said if you take the premium increases that we had on an average for the prior 10 years, and you take that and you duplicate it for the next 10 years, you'd be paying over $100,000 per year per family. Now, that's unrealistic, So, I think that we need to do something to try to control that, and I think that probably a wellness program will help you do that. If not, you become a victim of what your claims are. So it's a decision that just has to be made, and just go in the direction you think you want to, One opportunity you can save money and enhance your program, the next one you're just spending more money and satisfying a few egos. So it's just a decision that has to be made.
Councilman Todd Lamb?
So you saying, Harry, more than likely if we go with Humana this year, it's going to be a higher increase next year because we have no guarantees.
That's right. You have no guarantees.
Well,
you're
you,
not
well, you
doing
do
any-
have a guarantee with Coventry.
You have a guarantee that it's going to go up so much, plus you have a wellness program to try to help control it.
Control it.
If you had an individual wellness program that you added to Humana, you probably added another $100 per month per individual, It's,
And Parish President, you sat in on the meeting with the
I sat in on one of the two
big meeting,
meetings,
the one
and,
who had the majority of the people? You didn't get
a whole lot of
I guess-
comments.
That's what I'm saying. I would like to know the input. Is it 60% for it or?
Well,
it's not about being for it or against it. It's the whole thing was to explain
Yeah.
what the
And they were all
program
okay
was
with the
gonna be.
change after explaining.
but not all, some of them just no matter what, but you can just look at the cost per employee and look at it and do the math on it, and it's pretty simple when you do that,
The big complaint was that you were getting away from the PPO.
PPO, yeah.
The two other programs were similar, okay? But the PPO was basically what most of the employees wanted to keep. But that was something that we could not afford at this point. So the other two programs are pretty similar to what they're going to do, and the deductibles are pretty much the same. But I think that Coventry is about $25, $30 cheaper, and 4% overall. So that's just basically what the employees, most of the problem was basically the PPO was going away. The deductible was going up. With the wellness program, you actually don't have a deductible if you want to follow that program. The difference is that you have a smaller network of doctors. Basically, it would be your local doctors that you would deal with. Now, if you went out of town and you got sick, it would still be covered if you went to the emergency room or you had a problem like that. But I'm in a wellness program through a different. I don't have the insurance with the parish. It's not that hard. They take a blood test and they make recommendations. If you got diabetes, they send you somebody to help you with that. If you have high blood pressure, they do those types of things. So, it's just about change, and everybody's used to Humana, and basically that's where the
Resistance, yeah.
problem came in. But I really think that most of the problem was getting away from the PPO, which we had to do because we can't afford it. We still contribute 75% to our employees. Most other if you look around agencies here in the parish, at 50%. So we've thought that this was a way to keep it still affordable to those that wanted it to stay that way, and give them an option, and still save 4%. Now, but that's not a decision that we make. That's a decision that needs to be made by the council. But and we do have the insurance committee, and they do a wonderful job. And again, I think from the beginning it was all about education on this program. And I think if you go around and probably talk to employees now that they understand it, it may be a little different attitude. I'm not sure.
Let Ms. Angel talk.
Councilman Shakespeare?
Yeah, and my biggest fear, and I worked for the school system for 30 years.
Yeah.
We had input with our insurance, and then the school board picked it every year, and it was cost effective. We had input and things of that sort. My biggest fear is that we get in position that without making these choices right now, is down the line, they're going to make the choices, and we will be up here coming back to our same employees now down the line next year or 2 years from now and saying we can only pay 50% of your deal like most other people do. I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure that we still pay a majority of their premiums for them. And I think if we do anything besides what's been offered, we're taking a big chance right here of costing our employees down the line on something that we're not making a predetermined decision. So I'm really fearful of that. I think it's very important that we take a look at it to see the whole picture.
Ms. Angel?
Angel,
Please. Yes.
with the parish library. The library is under the umbrella of the parish government's insurance. And I'm in a very unique position as an employee. I have the health insurance. I have the high deductible health plan. It's very good, very excellent health plan. But as an administrator, I worry about the increase in how it's going to impact the budget that I have to live in. And eventually, if we don't control it, my fear is that it's going to impact my ability to hire individuals to provide services to the public. So I do see both sides of the picture. But I agree with Harry. The biggest impact we had was in August at the staff meeting when I told the staff there was no longer going to be a PPO plan, that everyone was going to the high deductible health plan. I heard mumbles and groans, and eventually that settled down, and they understood why it had to happen. But again, I'm like Mr. Kluot, I've never worked anywhere where they gave me the choice. And I can tell you that the 2 employees that I sent to the meeting did vote for Coventry because they liked the health package that was provided with.
Appreciate that info.
So,
Okay, Councilwoman Cazzo.
I just have 2 comments. The first one is that I think it's important that we be fiscally responsible, and a savings of $300,000 or $150,000 or $1 million, it's a savings. And the people have demanded that we do more with less. And so I think that's my first point, that it is physically irresponsible of us to vote for a company that's going to cost more and ultimately may cost significantly more. And the second is that I have never been able either as the employee of any other company or to be able to pick who my insurance was going to be with. We have a professional insurance agent on record that I think in the consent agenda we voted to hire him, and he has recommended that we use Coventry. And then we turn around and tell the man who is the professional that we hired that, no, we're not going to do what you think is in our best interest. So once again, I would beg you gentlemen to consider that we need to be fiscally responsible, we need to do the best we can do with the people's money, and we need to take the advice of professionals.
Okay. I believe we have a motion on the floor and a second. The motion was by Councilman Joseph. Who was the second?
I made the motion, but
you can withdraw your second if you wish.
I'll probably withdraw my first because I made the first.
All right, first. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, motion is withdrawn. Chair would entertain another motion.
Motion to move with Coventry.
Motion by Councilman
Second.
Lambert to move with Coventry. Second by Councilwoman Cazzo. Any more discussion? Please. Okay, we have a substitute motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
I would like to table this issue right now. What is the deadline, Harry?
Well, we have the holidays coming up.
Right.
And if we're going to switch to another company, we have to re-enroll everybody, and it's pretty serious. I think they probably, what type of time frame you talking about, Dempsey? What you talking about?
Well,
I'll be happy to meet with y'all
and
anytime,
look,
get the representative.
This was only a week ago Monday. This was,
I understand.
in our lap. Okay,
Mhm.
and I figured this was going to end up happening like this.
Okay.
But look, and I don't want to get into anyone's business here about their health,
Mhm.
but if someone has a precondition, a heart attack or some type of issue,
Mhm.
what is Coventry going to, they're going to give these people so many points, or what's going to happen with this?
It's
With a
automatically
precondition?
transferred without any difference at all. It's automatic, 100% pickup from what you have to where you're going. There's absolutely nothing left off.
That can go right on.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I'll leave it out there to table it for a week, and if we need a special meeting, let's have it.
Okay.
I will give it the employees that.
Okay. Councilman Lambert's motion needs a second. Is there a second? Hearing. Okay, we have a second to motion to pass on this item. Call a special meeting if necessary with a second. Are there objections to that?
Well, I mean,
I object.
Okay.
we need to be thinking about what's going to happen if this draws out and all of a sudden you look up and these parish employees are without insurance and with or some type of problem occurs at the last minute. I'm not looking to try to push this on anybody, but this is something very, very serious, and it's coming, and there's a lot of work to be done from here on out, and I think it's a very, very hard decision, and I don't want to see any bad things happen to these parish employees. It's out of our control because you just don't know what's going to happen from this time of the year, in my experience, going on to the holidays with these companies. And if something happens and we have to back up and go in some other direction with some problems, I don't think we have enough time. And I don't know, I defer to you, Harry. Is there enough time to wait a couple of weeks?
well, I wouldn't think that you'd want to wait a couple of weeks. I really don't. I think that probably that's what they're talking about over there. I mean, it puts pretty much of a strain on some of your staff, some of my staff, and some of the insurance company staff. And then you have Christmas and holidays that you're dealing with. I mean, y'all not going to be meeting that often. I mean, the things get a little bit more, problematic, the longer you wait, So, I mean, I'll be happy to meet anytime, anywhere, as many times with as many. It doesn't really matter. And I can have any representative that you want from either the company. I just don't think I want to put them together, and we can do that.
Councilman Satterley.
You may have answered by answering Kent's question. I was going to ask what is the Cinderella pumpkin situation? I mean, I would be more comfortable, quite frankly. I've already expressed this. If I could have been at that meeting and the second one particularly, and heard what the citizens said, even though it wasn't brought to quote unquote vote. But I don't want to see people wondering during the Christmas holidays whether or not I'm insured. I need to see a doctor.
Right.
So just to be clear, you're saying your recommendation would be not to postpone this any further, go ahead and make a decision tonight with Humana or Coventry, and that's it. Or are you saying, because we will meet 2 more times, that neither one of these companies will shy away from their offer? I mean, they give you a deadline that's good on whatever.
No,
and
we-
make a decision by next time. In the meantime, our next meeting's 2 weeks from now. Although I've seen this council in the past, it's my first year of service, actually not have the second meeting
Right.
in the Christmas holidays. However,
That's right.
for something like this, I would be very willing to meet.
Exactly.
But I want to be sure that we've gotten a real good feel, and that's the part I had in the beginning that didn't let me support,
Understand that.
switching to Coventry.
Sure.
What do the people really want? If one meeting they vote in 60-something%, and actually, sir, I believe you said it was 66 in front of the Finance Commission.
Something
and now
like
you're
that.
saying,
I think
yeah.
so. Something like
And
that.
now you're saying it's 60, but, and people, we can quibble what 10% means, but that, the 29 people there, and you also said that you asked for, if it wasn't a department head, for a rep that would represent that department. So if that's as balanced as it was, as a councilman, that's the only information I have as to what do the employees want.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned, as Ms. Casso and others have said, that we don't want to not be good shepherds of the parish money. There is a difference between spending another $300,000 and not. We would be brushing our knuckles, they would too, on slightly higher premiums.
Sure.
But relative to Dempsey Lambert's motion right now to table, I don't mean to correct that, postpone, let's say.
That's fine, yeah.
Postpone for, to the next council meeting and make a decision then. Would that be too late? Just yes or no?
It would be pushing it pretty much. I mean, not for my sake. I just think that probably is just a lot of work.
Is that a yes, sir?
Would y'all care to answer that?
I think what he's
Let's
saying
send your
is
employees
is
answer.
administration would be in a bind.
Not me.
Okay.
To get everybody ready.
That's what I needed to hear. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to hear. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay, we have a substitute motion on the floor to postpone. And Councilman Malasaw just walked in. So, Madam Secretary, note that he is here. So we have a substitute motion to defer or postpone. Are there objections? Yes. We'll need a roll call on the motion. This is on the substitute motion to defer, so a yes vote would be in support of deferring per Councilman Lambert. Madam Secretary.
Councilwoman Cazo.
No.
Councilman Kuat.
No.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes, because I second it.
Councilman
You can
Dempsey
still,
Lambert.
you can still vote.
You can take
It's a
that
pride
back.
thing. It's a pride thing.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment on that?
We're going to finish the voting first.
Well,
I think.
Robert's Rules of Order, I want everybody to know, when you second a motion, does not mean that you support it. It only means you want to hear more discussion. So if you want to change your motion of seconding, I think it's totally appropriate.
Mr. Dempsey in his
Okay.
argument.
That's a yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Melanson.
No.
Councilman Satterly.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
No.
Councilman Turner.
No.
Mr. Chairman, I misspoke. I meant a no vote. Let's get clarity again on this
A no
motion.
vote would be to, against the motion to,
To defer, in which case we're going to make a decision tonight.
correct.
I vote no.
Then I believe the noes have it, correct? Okay. The substitute motion to defer fails, and we are back to the original motion by Councilman Todd Lambert and a second by Councilwoman Casso to go with Coventry. Any discussion on that motion further? Okay, we will take a roll call. Objections to that? Are there objections now to proceeding with Coventry? Hearing none. Motion passes. Coventry is it. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Everyone.
Appreciate it. And ladies.
Thank you.
We are on item number 9, a resolution granting approval to Fire Protection District Number 1 of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, the district to call and hold an election on May 4th, 2013, to to authorize the levy and collection of a 15 mil ad valorem tax and an annual parcel fee of $100 per commercial parcel and $32 per residential parcel beginning in the year 2013 and continuing for a period of 10 years for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, maintaining, and operating fire protection facilities and equipment within the district, and further making application to the State Bond Commission for consent and authorization to hold the aforesaid election, and further providing for other matters in connection therewith. Would someone from our bond council team like to please give us an update as to why we're revisiting this?
Thank you, Chairman Bloor. As the council, I'm sure, remembers, this election had been set for December the 8th. As a matter of procedure, in order to have an election, you have to have the Justice Department approve the election. And they do so to make sure that there's no discrimination created in any district. That procedure needs to be followed even if there's not an election, even if there's just a creation of a district. And in order to understand what happened here, I think you need to know a little bit of the history of District Number 1. District Number 1 was originally created in 1995, which encompassed the entire parish, both sides of the river. Then District Number 1 was split in 1998 into District 1, which was the East Bank, and District 2, which was the West Bank. And then in 2003, District 1 was split into District 1 and District 3 on the East Bank. And then subsequent to that splitting, there was another ordinance that was passed that changed the geographic size of each one of those 5 districts. Each time this occurs, you have to get Justice Department approval to make sure that there's no discrimination in the creation of these districts with regards to minorities. In our discussions with the Justice Department, somewhere along the way, it appears that Justice Department approval was not gotten when one of these districts was split. They don't know which one. And that's not unusual, because a lot of times when districts are created or split, you don't necessarily you don't go to the Justice Department. That's done by ordinance. Justice Department only gets involved when you have an election, because they're concerned about the discrimination issue. So when it came time, and the timetable here needs, the Justice Department has to approve it in enough time for the Secretary of State to put it on the ballot. So we were getting down to the wire, and the Justice Department had not approved it. So the Secretary of State determined that they would not put this election on the December 8th ballot. When that happened, we got a copy of the election schedule for 2013 and determined, backing into that, how much time we would need in order to have the election scheduled at earliest possible date, and that turned out to be May 4th. So that's how where we are right now. The good thing about it is, even though the election will not be held until May 4th, if the tax proposal passes, the tax can be collected for the entire year. So it's not any detriment as far as the amount of money that will be generated by the tax. It's just that the election will be held in May of 13 instead of December of 12.
Okay. Thank you, Malcolm.
And if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them.
Okay. Councilman Satterley?
Yes, let's do that. So you or we, whoever, we don't have to go back to the fire district themselves to get a resolution from them?
We did.
First?
We went to the fire district, had a special meeting last night where we got them to pass the fire district resolution.
A new resolution to do
authorizing
this on
the
May 4th.
The May 4th election. because we do need to go back to bond council. We need to go through the same process we did before.
Yeah.
And that's where the timeline comes in. Because in order to have the election, you got to advertise, and that takes around 90 days. So that's why we making sure that we have enough time. And we've been assured by the Justice Department that that the approval is coming. It's just a question of when, and you just can't push the Justice Department. They kind of work on their own timetable.
I move to accept the resolution.
Okay, motion by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Lawson. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution passes. Thank you, Malcolm. Item number 10 is a resolution for fiscal year 2012 to 2014 Emergency Solutions Grant Program, sub-grant agreement with Church United for Community Development. Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Earlier this year, we came to you requesting authorization for parish president to enter an agreement for the 2012-2014 Emergency Solutions Grant. Tonight, I'm here to ask your support to offer into a resolution to enter into a sub-grantee agreement with Church United that will administer these funds.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Lawson. Second. Second by Councilman Joseph. Any discussion? Councilwoman Cazo.
Who is this organization?
They've been around for quite a while. It was actually birthed out of, I know it well, I used to work for it. It was actually birthed out of all the churches in Ascension Parish, including Healing Place in Baton Rouge. They started the men's shelter they have here, Ascension House. The Dream Center, they used to do the after-school programs and all in Donaldsonville. They've got a lot of different things that they do here in Ascension Parish.
Ms. Kesha, what we do for this particular grant, we are required to go out to request any organizations that would like to administer these funds, submit an application or a response back to us for this program, and Church United was the only one that responded back to us. So we're now in to go into a sub-grantee agreement with them.
What's the parish's responsibility for these funds?
Basically, we monitor them through our grants office. There are regulations, but it's strictly a pass-through that we're required to do with these funds this year because they've combined two different programs. There is a little more close-knit. Regulations have changed to this, so they'll be required to do a little more reporting, and our office will be required to do more monitoring on the funds. We basically will take in their receipts or how the program works, and then go monitor them probably twice a year from our standpoint to make sure their books and how they're administering the funds are completed. Then the state comes down and monitors them also.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, gentlemen?
And I'd just like to state, they do a great job at it.
They do an excellent job. This is a home prevention. This is to take people who are on the verge of going into to be homeless, and it assists them with staying into their homes. It's a great program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any objection? Hearing none, that motion passes. Before we move on, Mr. President, you had something?
Yes, I think you need to go back to number 8. I don't think that y'all addressed the dental and disability and the life insurance with Humana. You only did the Coventry.
That's true.
Motion,
That is on the agenda. Health. Yeah.
Second.
Motion to reconsider number 8. Councilman Lambert, second by Councilwoman Cazo. Chair would entertain a motion to for a recommendation for the life and dental.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Section 4
For Humana.
for Humana, and a second by Councilman Lambert. Any objection? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you, sir. All right, we are on item number 11. Ratifying a resolution ratifying and approving a debt of not exceeding $50,000 of Ascension Consolidated Utilities District Number 1, State of Louisiana, pursuant to a loan agreement promissory note entered into by the district dated June 4th, 2008.
Yes,
Councilman
we
Joseph?
have ACUD1 attorney, Mr. Marvin Grove. Mr. Marvin Grove, can you address the resolution?
You want to speak on both resolutions while we got them up? Mr. Chairman?
One at a time.
That- One at a time?
Yes, we're doing
Okay,
one at a
all
time. 11A is
The
the
resolution that you just brought up with the $50,000, this is a housekeeping matter. I went to the State Bond Commission meeting this morning. This was approved by the Bond Commission. It was a result of us applying for a $550,000 bond approval resolution that just council approved back a couple of months ago, and that was approved this morning. During the course of them going through our books, they realized we had not gone to the Bond Commission and approved this. And I talked to Ms. Dugai earlier, sometimes it depends which audit you hit, what have you. And so it's better after the fact. We've paid down this loan down to about $29,000, and they require us to do housekeeping to approve it. They approved it this morning, and it's a matter of housekeeping to ratify what we've already done.
So moved to approve the resolution.
Motion by Councilman Joseph to approve this resolution, second by Councilman Kluwat. Any discussion? Any objection? That resolution passes. Next is the added item 11A, a resolution to the State Bond Commission for ratification and approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Ascension Parish and ACUD number 1. Councilman Joseph or Mr. Marvin Grove?
Yes, as you can see, this goes back to 2001. We've been to the Bond Commission 6 times since then, and whatever reason they picked this up, that goes back to an agreement that we got formed as a water district in 2000. The parish loaned us the money to pay off the old debt of the old district, and for whatever reason, they said they should have gone back to the Bond Commission, and they picked it up this time, and we've been there 7 times. So I guess whoever you pick up it all, but it's housekeeping. It was approved by the Bond Committee, just like the other one was this morning. It's a matter of we have to officially have it corrected for the record.
Okay.
And we only have 3 payments left on it, so it's about paid out.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert to move on this resolution and adopt this resolution, second by Councilman Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion passes.
Thank you,
sir.
gentlemen.
Item number 12 is an approval of an agreement with DOTD and the Parish of Ascension for federal aid, project number LA10002, construction of a facility at Burnside Landing near Hummus House. Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council. This is a resolution that we're asking for you to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to sign and execute this document with DOTD, and for Ms. Gwen LeBlanc to do the financials.
Motion by Councilman Kluwat, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 13 is an ordinance amending the 2012 budget and adopting the 2013 budget for Ascension Parish government. Mr. Parrington.
There is a revision to certain budget for 2012 budget year for certain funds that council follows operating surplus deficit amended to fund balance after amendments general $535,004,880,246. Road bridge -$116,000. Fund balance amendments $215,772. Ascension main drainage $396,300. Fund balance $23,603,900. West Ascension drainage $34,000. Fund balance $1,554,537. Sales and use tax -$837,681. Fund balance $9,466,365. Criminal court -$64,900. Fund balance $164,257. Health unit $27,600. Fund balance $2,371,570. Mental health $85,500. Fund balance $3,177,122. Fire District Number 2, $75,700. Fund balance $871,212. Lighting District Number 1, 4,600, fund balance $322,984. Number 2, 2,900, fund balance $88,684. Number 3, $6,600, fund balance $138,120. Lighting District Number 4, 13,700, fund balance $63,161. Lighting District Number 5, $2,300, fund balance $74,616. Lighting District Number 6, negative $265,100, fund balance $1,690,438. Number 7, $3,500, fund balance $39,241. LCDBG Lemonville Sewer Project 0, fund balance $89,893. Lamar Dixon Expo Center, negative $310,600, fund balance $744,821. GL Construction, negative $549,500, fund balance $933,432. East Ascension Major Sinking Fund, $3,000, fund balance $680,946. East Ascension Construction Fund, negative $28,331,000, fund balance $22,114,731. Courthouse Construction, negative $121,140, fund balance 0. Road Project Construction Fund, $408,900, fund balance $13,271,588. Ascension Jail Fund, negative $475, fund balance $153,894. Law Officers Court Fund, negative $289,000, fund balance $108,843. Office Building Construction Fund, $4,969,500, fund balance $5,682,685. Ascension Insurance Fund, $75,500, fund balance $2,754,590. HUD Section 800, Ascension Parish Tourism Commission, negative $27,891, fund balance 0. Fire District Number 1, negative $357, fund balance $3,402,734. Council on Aging, $300, fund balance $1,317,444. Sales and Use Tax District Number 1, $1,500, fund balance $128,070. Sales and Use Tax District Number 2, Sinking Fund, $2,500, fund balance $404,565. 23rd Judicial District Fins Fund, negative $8,500, funds balance $12,773. Fire District Number 1 Construction, negative $175, fund balance $209,333. Bayou Terrace Bond Fund 0, fund balance $24,290. Wastewater Water Fund 0, fund balance 0. Ascension Parish Maintenance Fund, negative $231,500, fund balance $611,781. Dental Insurance Fund, negative $6,000, fund balance $57,025. FEMA Repetitive Loss and Acquisition Elevation, 0, fund balance $166,545. Homeland Security Grant, 0, fund balance $191,890. Fire District Number 3, $5,570,425, fund balance $5,666,195. Fire District Number 3 dedicated fund negative $5,374,725. Fund balance 0. Fire District Number 3 sinking, negative $67,32. Fund balance 0. Fire District Number 1 reserve 0. Fund balance $115,960. Fire District Number 1 sinking, negative $500. Fund balance $15,079. Fire District construction, negative $41. Fund balance $95,039. Utilities, negative $502,500. Fund balance $4,556,515. Community block grant, $9,500. Fund balance $19,691. Fleet Management Fund, 4,000, fund balance, 469,090. Oak Grove Construction Fund, negative 41, fund balance, 850. CBDG Construction Fund, 0, fund balance, 59,305. Park Construction, negative 5,000, fund balance, 593. Whereas the proposed operating budget for the year 2013 includes revenues of $70,935,500 plus required fund balance of $3,232,300 for a total equal to $74,167,800 and expenditures of $66,802,800. Capital budget includes revenues of $12,640,000 plus required fund balance of $37,063,500 for a total of equal to $49,717,500 and expenditures of $57,082,500. Therefore, the total operating and capital improvement and capital budget revenues plus required fund balance equals $123,885,300 and expenditures equal to $123,805,300. Interfund transfers of $40,631,600. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council has reviewed and considered such proposed budget and made revisions of the same, whereas said proposed budget was duly set after proper notice of public for public hearing, which was held on November 15, 2012, as required by the revised statute of the state of Louisiana, Ascension Parish Home Rule Charter, be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council of the state of Louisiana that the amended budgets as prepared for 2012 were approved and appropriated by Ascension Parish Council with the stipulation that transfers from the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 to the General Fund and Road and Bridge Fund in the amount necessary to maintain the balance fund, but will not exceed the amount authorized in the budget. The Recreation Fund is allocated 10% of the net of 1% Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 revenues as an additional source of funding. Funding is also provided by allocation to the Sales and Use Tax Number 1 Bond Sinking Fund and FINS, Families in Need of Family Services, to the extent the resulting revenues of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 exceed expenditures and transfers, and after an adequate fund balance is maintained, such excess shall be transferred 25% to the Recreation Fund, 25% to the Utilities Fund, and 50% to the Road Construction Fund. That 1/3 of the sales of the net of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 2 revenues collected for the fire protection shall be shared by the Ascension Parish Fire District Protection Number 1 at 65% for Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 2, at 13% to Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 3 at 22%. All unexpected appropriations will lapse December 31st, 2012. That the budget proposed for the year 2013 is approved, adopted, and appropriated with the following provisions. Expenditures not contemplated in the operation of the government of the Ascension Parish as set forth in this budget are to be approved in accordance with the provisions of Article 7, Section 701 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish. Transfer from the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 to the General Fund and Road and Bridge Fund in the amount necessary to maintain a balance fund, but will not exceed the amount authorized in the budget. Recreation Fund is allocated 10% of the net 1% Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 revenues as an additional source of funding. Funding is also provided by the allocation to the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 Sinking Fund and FINS, Families in Need of Services, to the extent that the resulting revenues of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 exceed expenditures and transfers, and after an adequate fund balance is maintained, then such excess will be transferred 25% to the Recreation Fund, 25% to the Utilities Fund, 50% to the Road Construction Fund. That 1/3 of the net of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 2 revenues collected for fire protection be shared by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 1 at 65% by Ascension Parish Fire District Protection District Number 2 at 13% by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 3 at 22%. Funding to provide for the 2012 encumbrances is hereby approved and appropriated. All unexpected appropriations will lapse at December 31st, 2013. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. Vote thereon was as follows.
Thank you, sir. Item number 14 is the public hearing. Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Fluat, second by Councilwoman Cazzo. Anyone wishing to speak? Now is your time.
Motion to close.
We have
Oh,
someone
got
to
a
speak.
speaker?
Yes, we
Sorry.
do. Ms. Catherine Guppel.
Good evening.
The parish president denied my request to review the budget with someone in the finance department. Why? Transparency builds trust. Chairman Lahr recently stated, quote, "There needs to be a concerted education effort to show voters where their tax dollars go." In relation to roads, he said he's all ears. I hope he's listening tonight because the public has sent a strong, clear message to this council by their vote on November 6th that we do understand government and we don't think that you need more of our money. I would like to use the 2013 budget to demonstrate this. In the last 10 years, sales tax revenues increased 60%, and property values more than doubled. Just 7 years ago, the parish budget was $85 million. Today, the total budget for 2013 is $124 million, of which $67 million is in operating funds, $57 million in capital projects, with investments in the bank of close to $210 million to boot. The chairman has described this as a, quote, shoestring budget. Citizens disagree. There was $11.2 million in the 2012 roads budget for roads. We paid $50,000 for an unnecessary study. Did you know there is already a state study in Phase 3 for Ascension Livingston Tollway? This means another $50,000 was wasted in some engineer's pocket. This is typical. The road construction fund for 2013 is $14.8 million. On page 329, it shows $4.2 million of these dedicated road monies will pay for sewer improvements. Make whatever excuse or rationalize whatever loophole you want, but S-E-W-E-R does not spell roads. Is it any wonder that people don't trust government? When did the council decide to take $5 million from Ascension Hospital, paid for with taxpayer dollars, to build a new government complex? Are your priorities real estate or infrastructure? Why not use this $5 million for needed bridge repair? $8 million was spent 10 years ago on this courthouse. Parish government purchased Lamar Dixon after almost 60% of the people told you not to do so. How about putting a for sale sign up at the hospital, moving the government offices out to Lamar, which was the original intent? Sell the unused real estate and put the money toward roads. How about working with our legislative delegation? We have $81 million for roads promised. We need to get it appropriated and the projects completed. 15 of these intersections in the Lanes for Change program, which failed, are included in this $81 million. Do more with less, trim the fat, be more efficient, and don't ask the people for more money until you can demonstrate fiscal responsibility, which, by the way, has nothing to do with accounting practices. The finance department does a great job with the books. It's the politicians that need auditing. Thank you, and I'd like you to place these comments in the public record.
Okay, the chair would entertain a motion to close. Motion to close by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Joseph. Chair would entertain a motion to move the ordinance.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Kluwat, second by Councilman Shakespeare. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Satterley.
I'd like to go on record this evening to thank Ms. Gwen LeBlanc and her fine staff who spent over 4 hours with me in a location which I've often heard called the White House. Everybody knows what it is. Also, Mr. Ben Laurie for spending several hours on the phone with me to help me get my arms around the budget, particularly as it relates to the 2012 and 2013 Fund 37 recaps on the road project. And I think that's particularly important, as we just heard from the public comment, that, you know, on November 6th, the people, I think, did speak loud and clear. They do want us, gentlemen and ladies, to make do with what we have when it comes to roads, and I'm confident that we will work hard to do just that. I don't want to get into a lot of specific issues and at this point, but after we have a vote to accept this budget, which I'm going to be voting for this evening, I would like to either, if it's the pleasure of the chairman, discuss it yet this evening or bring it up at a more appropriate time at other council meetings where these issues will be actually discussed in further detail and brought to some sort of resolution. But I did detect in talking to Ms. Gwen and others, just as one example, the municipalities in our parish currently do not pay for juvie detention of their citizens that are ordered to be detained by court. I would like to see that these that this inequity be addressed and that these cities pay their fair share of the youth detention cost. This business we've learned in the past about per head, per bed, per day. Sometimes later, Mr. Chairman, I think it would be fine too that we need to revisit the adequacy of municipal support again of the Ascension Parish's Animal Control Center. President Martinez spoke about this back in the spring, talking about that if something's not done, we would have to maybe potentially even get rid of services, and I certainly would, and I know the citizens would agree, hate to see that happen. So I'd like to see us get some more definitivity on there. Also, it's already been brought up, the hospital issue. I detected that in the budget myself. I know this is going through strategic planning, and I know that there's a recommendation probably forthcoming, it hasn't come yet to us, that there's two options. One, to raise that existing buildings and structures that are there from the old hospital, and to build this government complex that's on the site, or actually, instead of doing that, renovate the same with a $100,000 difference. And I know several councilmen have made comments, and the parish president, it's a no-brainer, we ought to go with the lesser of the two, but I'm wondering if there aren't even other options I'd like to explore eventually. We need to approve the budget tonight, obviously, but maybe, as it's been suggested, that we can do something differently and put that money toward roads, particularly now since the Lanes for Change program November 6 failed handily. So with that, again, these are just comments that I want to put into the record. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for allowing them, and I would be willing to make that motion to approve at this point. Or
We already have a motion.
We already have that motion.
Yeah.
We can just continue then in discussion, and I'll call the vote.
Okay, just to answer your point, the proper place to have those discussions is the Finance Committee. That's the budget amendments go through the Finance Committee, so you can work through them. The budget can be amended at any time. So just encourage you to work with the Finance Chair and fellow councilmen to.
Just one, Chris, comment on that, so the public understands this too, because I have received significant pressure with the budget. Folks know it has that $5 million in there, and my explanation is the same one that Ms. LeBlanc gave me, which I think is the correct one right now. Just because it's in there, that's a recommendation to the parish council from the parish president that might be something we're going to do. Doesn't mean we're going to do it until this body decides we are or aren't going to do something differently. So I appreciate that education, not just for myself, but for my constituents. The counter argument people tell me, so why put it in there at all? Why not just amend the budget and say we're going to build a thing and put the 5? But to me, what's the difference? It's either going to happen or it's not. So I'm comfortable with that, and I will work with those respective committees, Ms. Casso, et cetera, on those issues at the proper time.
Okay. Councilman Shakespeare?
Yes, I mean, as always, representing strategic planning, any input from any council member is surely welcome and asked for. We haven't gotten any feedback to this time. I want to assure everyone that just discussions or working meetings, requests for anything like that within the staff or anything through strategic planning is welcome, and we want to have as much input as possible as we go forward. And surely, please get involved, because it's a lot harder to do this without input with all the council. So we welcome that, and please give me a call.
Okay. What else? Any other discussion on the motion to adopt the budget? Any opposition? Hearing none, that ordinance is adopted. Item number 16 is an ordinance to state the Ascension Parish Council's endorsement of Avalon Rare Metals, Inc. to participate in the Benefits of Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Mr. Barrington.
State the Ascension Parish Council's endorsement of the Avalon Rare Metals, Inc. project to participate in the Benefits of Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Whereas the Louisiana Quality Jobs Program offers significant incentives for economic development to some of the most distressed areas in the state. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council states the endorsement is in agreement with the overall economic development plan for Ascension Parish. Whereas in accordance with Louisiana Quality Jobs Program's requirements, the Ascension Parish Council agrees to participate in the Quality Jobs Program. To assist the Department of Economic Development in evaluating the progress made in the Quality Jobs Program within its jurisdiction, to rebate 1/2 cents of Ascension Parish 1 cent sales tax on the construction of initial equipping of the project and used permanently by the Avalon's Rare Metal, Inc. plan in Ascension Parish, Louisiana, and found to be in compliance with Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. If all the requirements are met, the rebate shall be dispersed as follows. 90% of the 1/2 cent shall be to Avalon Rare Metals, and 10% of the 1/2 cent rebate shall go to the Ascension Parish Economic Development Consolidated Development Fund. Rebate shall be used for the purpose of reimbursing only Avalon Metals its direct cost for the construction and initial equipment of the project at the Avalon Rare Metals Inc. plant in Ascension Parish, Louisiana, and for support of AEDC Development Fund. Avalon Rare Metals Inc. shall submit receipts associated with the cost of construction and initial equipment of the project to the Sales Tax Authority, Parish Sales Tax Authority, for which the rebate is sought, and after proof acknowledgement that Ascension Parish did in fact collect and sales tax, the Ascension Parish Sales Tax Authority shall forward said request with recommendations to the Ascension Parish Treasurer for approval. The total rebate is estimated to be $899,900 and is conditioned upon the creation of 175 direct new full-time jobs by Avalon Rare Metals Inc. Employment Company. Furthermore, Avalon Rare Metals shall provide evidence that at least 175 of the new jobs created will have sufficient hourly earnings and offer sufficiently company-paid health care benefits as required to the quality for the state of Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. However, should Avalon Rare Metals Inc. fail to create 175 direct new full-time jobs, as noted here and above, the rebate shall be reduced pro rata basis for the jobs created. For illustrative purposes only, should Avalon Rare Metals create 170 jobs, the rebate shall be limited to 95.833% of the total amount of rebate if Avalon created 170 new direct full-time jobs. The rebate is payable for eligible expenditures occurring during the project period only. The project period shall be the same as the project period approved by Louisiana Department of Commerce and Industry for Avalon Rare Metals Inc. State Quality Job Contract for Project Avalon Rare Metals Inc. will provide a copy of the State Quality Jobs Contract to the Ascension Parish Treasurer within 30 days of the execution of the contract. Whereas these incentives are conditioned upon the applicant, Avalon Rare Metals Inc., be participating in the community awareness response and the Geismar Area Mutual Aid Association, and further that the applicant requests that all immovable property upon which the facility is constructed to be constructed upon which the plant operation to take place shall be designated as an industrial area as provided by Louisiana Revised Statute 33:130.13. Be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council in due and regular legal session convene that Avalon Rare Metals Inc. and the project are endorsed to participate in the Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Be it further ordained that the Ascension Parish Council, as the governing authority in the parish of Ascension, will reimburse 45% of Ascension Parish 1/2 cent sales tax from the Ascension Parish government local sales tax of the eligible local sales taxes collected for the construction of the plant by Avalon Rare Metals project. Said amount to be estimated to be $809,000 from surplus funds, and 5% of the 1 cent sales tax, provided sales taxes were collected and received. Any further rebates must be approved by the parish council. Be it further ordained that the Ascension Parish Council Treasurer is authorized to begin escrowing on a monthly basis a pro rata share of the sales tax collected until the sum of $899,000 is reached. Upon completion of the project and due proof presented, the treasurer shall be authorized to rebate the sales tax held in escrow up to 110% of the $899,000 without further council action. Be it further ordained that the parish treasurer is authorized and required whatever documentation is necessary in her judgment to assure the project is complete. Be it further ordained that any provisions or items of this ordinance or application therein held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions, items, or applications that can be given effect without further invalid provisions, items, or applications, and to the extent the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared severable. Be it further ordained that this ordinance shall take effect immediately. Be it further ordained that all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. This ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote was as follows.
Your motion to open the public hearing? Motion by Councilman Kluwat. Second by Councilman Ty Lambert. Anyone wishing to
close.
speak? Now is your time. Come forward.
Nobody got up.
Everyone? Okay, motion to close by Councilman Malansaw.
Second.
Second by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Motion to approve.
Motion to move the ordinance by Councilman Turner and a second by Councilman Kluwat. Any discussion on the ordinance? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Todd Lambert. Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. We are adjourned.